Hello everyone, and today I will be telling you about this simple program, and by this I welcome you all to this beautiful series in which we will be learning C++, and we will start from very basic, like you can see here, and step by step we will advance to more advanced topics, and so that the complex topics start looking easier as we go through the course and to the videos, and I will be posting videos each day so that we don't lose progress. So here I will just briefly describe what these lines do, and why we need these lines, although in future videos I will teach you further in further details about each of these lines. But for now, I will keep this simple and just dictate what each line does, and so that we can just proceed to the output. So the first line here, which says the hash tag and include IOStream. What this line does, actually this line is simply a preprocessor directive. It is just a simple instruction, and which uses a different, unfamiliar syntax, a special syntax. What this line does is that, hey compiler, go to this file called iostream, and which is placed somewhere in the hard drive or SSD, and bring that file and bring the content of that file, and just replace this line with the content of this file named iostream, where this file is located, where it is not located, and how to bring that. All it is done by the compiler itself. So this is actually known as preprocessor directive, which means that before anything happens, this happens. So before we go to this line or anything like that, just replace this line with the content of this file. Simple as that. Why we need this line? Why we actually don't need this line if we don't have to use the stuff that is defined in this IOStream file. But in this program that I have written below, I'll be using some things that are ready to use, and written by some intelligent people, and provided built in to the compiler, C++ compiler. So I'll be using those blocks or things, and so that's why I've included this simple IOStream file. Next up is this int main, and this main function. This is basically a function name. So every program that you write in C++ will have this main function, and not just C++. Any programming language should and will have this main function. It could be named anything, but most of the programming languages called it main. Main is basically the starting point of the program. When this program is loaded into the process into the CPU, and this is something that the CPU tries to find in order to get the program started. This is the starting point of the program. No matter how much code you like and you write, and in your project, the first line that gets executed will be going to be this line. And this, as I told you, is a function, and each function contains these curly braces, and anything that function must contain are defined between these curly braces. So in our case, this main function is quite simpler. It has these two lines. Each line is an instruction to the CPU, which will act as an instruction to the CPU, and we also call these lines statements. Each line in C++ should end with this semicolon, as you can see at the right end. This is the most important thing. This tells the compiler that I have ended this statement. The next statement or the next instruction is totally different from the current one. So this is quite important, and when I started programming, I used to miss these semicolon all the times, and I kept finding where is here, but it ended up something very simple, like I had not added this semicolon in most of my statements because I was just started learning. I had started learning programming like 12 years ago or 10 years ago. So, everyone makes mistakes, so will you, but learn from those mistakes. Anyways, this std cout thing is something. This is that block. This is that built-in thing that I wanted to use, that is already defined in IOStream. So what this means is that in this IOStream file there is something called std, and inside that std there is something called cout. I want to use that. So in order to use that, I had to write this syntax. I will go into the details of why it is written this way, what this means and what this means, and also we'll be defining uh, something of our own, and we will be writing like this syntax. So this thing, this block needs something, and it needs something like a string or anything that we'll see in the further lectures. But for now, it needs something, a string or a sentence or a word that we need to print on the screen. So that string is something, anything that we would like to print on the screen as it is. Like I see this edge here, I want this edge to remain edge when it is shown on the screen. It should have these lines and it should like look like this. This thing should look like this. To our eyes, this is hello world, but to computer, these are simply bits and bytes. So anything, any bits and bytes that we would like to print on a screen as it is, we enclose those things in these double quotes. You know. So anything that is enclosed in these double quotes will be shown as it is. And one exception to this is this backslash n that you see here at the end of the word, word. So this backslash n is something special. It just puts a new line at the end of this exclamation mark. So anything we print after this line will, after this word backslash n will be printed on the new line. So next up is return zero. Return zero is something required by the functions. If we will see the details of this in the future videos. But for now, let's just say that this is required for the functions. But one other thing to note here in C++ is that the main function doesn't require this. If I can remove this, and when this program is compiled, that return zero line is implicitly written by the compiler here. So we don't need to, write this line, but it is better to write this line explicitly so that we know that this line exists and it is there. What this line does is it tells the process, it tells us basically that the program has ended successfully. Zero here means it ended up successfully. One means that something went wrong and things like that. So if we remove this line, zero is the default value and the compiler assumes that everything will work fine and it just adds this return zero line at the end of anything that we have written before this. So let's just run this simple code by clicking this button here. And by the way, I will be telling you how to set up this beautiful environment I have set up in Visual Studio. I will be helping you with that in the future videos. So for now, let's just press this button and see what happens. So after pressing this button, what basically happening is that this code is being converted into a machine code and it is being sent to the CPU or the processor, and the processor are trying to make sense out of it and do what it is told to do. So in this case, we have told it to simply print hello world, and it has done that for us. Thank you, C++ and compiler and processor and CPU and RAM, and there are so many things involved. behind the scenes. But uh, for now, that's it. Uh, this was a simple introduction, and we will see how to modify this and refactor this and include more things in this simple code. And anything that we will be discussing in some videos, upcoming videos, or simple, and by mixing those simple things, combining those simple things, we can solve pretty very much complex problems, as we will see in our advanced topics. So uh, that should be it. Let's see what comes next in the next video. So thank you guys. See you next.